Chris back with another episode talk for The Walking Dead, and today we're going to talk about episode 6, The King, the Widow, and Rick. So, episode 6 basically begins to set the tone for what we can sort of expect as we head towards the mid-season finale and the next two episodes. Basically, the three groups, Alexandria, the Kingdom, and the Hilltop, are all dealing with basically the weight that the war is having on each of them. Basically, Rick goes to the Scavenger group to sort of broker another uh, deal with them in an attempt to sort of have them join their side, basically saying, okay, you can see now that we're obviously going to beat Negan, so pretty much join us or we'll destroy you. And they don't take the deal. And then on the other side, you have Maggie basically dealing with Jesus' decision to bring back the remaining members of the Saviors to the Hilltop. And she has to come up with some sort of decision to sort of deal with that, in addition with throwing Gregory into this sort of makeshift jail cell with them. And then you have Ezekiel basically with the weight of all the losses that he's had to deal with in the past couple of episodes after losing Shiva and all his people and having to come back and sort of Carol convincing him that he has to be a leader again that they need and everything. And it sort of goes through this whole plan that Rick has planned out ever since the beginning of the season, where sort of the three groups are going to converge on the sanctuary, which is still overrun by walkers. And once they converge, they're hoping to get some sort of surrender out of Negan. Now, obviously, since this is a much longer season, it's probably not going to go that way. And depending on how this mid-season finale goes, it's obviously going to lead into some sort of confrontation at the sanctuary, more than likely. But I thought the episode had some really great performances and everything. It seemed more focused more on the groups, though I felt like than the actual leaders. But I liked the scenes with Rick and the scavengers. The scenes at the hilltop were great. Definitely that whole kind of subplot with Michonne and Rosita was kind of just felt like a little bit of filler, but still pretty interesting to watch and all that. But you can definitely see how each of the characters are dealing with the war in their own way and how this big confrontation is going to lead to something big towards the end of the season and all that. But I definitely look forward to what we're going to see in next week's episode, because it's going to be definitely more Savior centric with Negan coming back, which I'm happy about. So we will see what happens there. But regardless of what will happen in the mid-season finale, it will be maybe close into what we can expect for the season finale, but maybe not completely close. Because for the most part, they've done very much like season 7, stuck to the comics pretty good. We also got introduced to another one of the comic characters, now that I remember, Sadiq, who will play a very important role going forward in the show. So we'll definitely see how Rick sort of invites him into the group as we go forward. But let me know what you guys thought about episode 6. Do you have any ideas of where you think the group is heading in episode 7 and 8 onto the mid-season finale? I think The Walking Dead is moving forward again. I know that this episode kind of felt like a little bit more thriller than it did than the last one, but I thought this one moved pretty swiftly. Maybe not as well as the last one because it wasn't as Negan centric, but I think we should probably be pretty good as far as episodes for the rest of the first half of the season. And then once we get back from that sort of break in between episode 8 and 9, we should be back with a very harsher and more intense part of the war as we reach the very end of it, onward to the end of the season, on to eventually season 9. and I have some theories about where we'll possibly go after season 8. So, I'm Chris, and I will see you guys in my next review. Adios.